Hello, everyone, and welcome back to God Gotcha Girls Testimony Mondays. I am so honored to have my beautiful sister Tyra here from Guide Me to share her amazing testimony. If you guys don't know, I have kind of changed God Gotcha Girl to be more focused on sharing other people's stories and testimonies so that you guys know that God is still out here working even in the midst of some darkness. I have been honored and blessed to be a part of this woman's life and for her to be a part of mine. Tyra, this is an absolute honor, and I take that so seriously because I know where I was when I met you. Girl, what was that, like 5 years ago? 4 years ago? I know where I was where I met you like 5 or 4 years ago, and you saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, and you continued to pour into me so much with your smile, with your kind words, your encouragement. And I had no idea everything that you were going through because God's light truly shine through you and his grace is sufficient forever because girl, if I would have known.
If I would have known.
I don't know how you were able to do so much for me, even though you were going through so much. And I just truly thank you for everything that you have done for me. And that is why I wanted to have you on today because as me and you have gotten to know each other, literally, we are birthday partners. Like, we were born October 17th. Our kids are like the same ages apart. Our stories are sort of similar, and I just truly feel like you are like my God given sister.
Very similar. It's very strange, and I have to say this so I can always go back and replay this and watch it over and over and over again. Literally sisters. I mean, personalities. Even our kids with the same ages have the same personalities. It's so strange, and we were put in the right place at the right time. And I'm so grateful for you. I can take up the whole hour talking about how grateful I am for you. So comforting and supportive, literally so merciful. So I appreciate you. I love God got your girl. Because I'm always remembering that. When I'm going through something, I just say, God got your girl.
Mm,
I can always
girl,
remember it.
girl, that truly came from him because I have to remind myself, like, God got you, girl, because, ooh, Lord, I can't have myself because I'm a hot, rabbity mess. So, yeah,
If
ain't nothing but
nobody
Holy
else
Spirit.
got you, he got you. So I love
Amen.
that. I appreciate you for following your heart and your dream into making this platform to educate others, to teach others, and to just to be yourself. I love this space. Your community is so peaceful. It's so positive. It's always so much support in the comments, and I love that. I love you for that.
Oh, it's not me, girl. It ain't me, honey. You know it. But yes, so without further ado, Tyra, I just want you to share, whatever Holy Spirit has in your heart to share with them, to give them some encouragement and some uplifting words from your testimony upon today. Oh, she got her teacup, y'all. She gonna spill the
I
tea.
was trying to take a sip before the introduction. So I am Tara with Guide Me, new business that I have started to support and promote this journey that we all go through. Even if you're not a mother, it's still a journey if you're doing this alone or by yourself. So that's what Guide Me is, and that's exactly where it came from. So I did take some notes so that I won't get off subject, off topic, because I can start talking about anything for forever. So I was looking for a little fishing rod emoji so I can remember. So I can't see any comments, but kiddo, I can see you. So just if I go off on a tangent, just wheel me back in, girl. Wheel me back in.
No, you are
Give
fine.
me
Let
two
Holy
minutes,
Spirit
cause
lead
give
you.
me 2 minutes first, and then wheel me back.
Let Holy Spirit lead you, honey.
So if you see me looking down, that's what it's for. Because I have a timeline that, because I even had to remember my own story. I ran away from it once each stage was over. I ran away from each part of it. So I had to actually write down dates and times because I can't make this stuff up. It was literally things that happened in my life that is like it was going so fast. I had to write a notebook. I literally went to Meyer to buy a notebook specifically for the things that was occurring. I had to write it down. I had to remember it because every time I wanted to go into that place where I don't think God is here, He
Mhm.
had to leave me here. I can go back to those notes like, no, for you, it seems like it's taking a long time. But when you look at the dates and times that he was there guiding me, supporting me, and the testimonies behind it, they were frequent. They were monthly, sometimes more than once a month. So I was like, okay, I'm going to use this to keep going. And just to say that even though the time may seem like it's taking forever, it's really not. It's not taking forever. So I have some timeline notes that I want to share with you all. I want to first start with how did I get here? And then we'll go back to the journey. So, me being here in this moment with me, branding, starting my business. I just finished college, got my bachelor's degree as a social worker. I have 2 children, struggled all the way through. And I have my 2 children, so they struggled along with me. And we just did it together. And, even with working and with all the challenges, I had to have something to stay grounded. Because
Mhm.
even though I have developed a strong relationship with God back when I was 16 and 17, unfortunately I did fall off that journey. Um, I got pregnant when I was 17 years old, and I told this short story before, and someone said, "You're a survivor of a teen mom." I never looked at it that way. So that's kind of like a normal saying that they use now, saying that you're a survivor as a teen mom. I'm like, oh, I guess I did. So back when I was 16, 17, I did have a relationship with God. It started there. And then, things transpired in my life, and I said, let me take a different path. My grandmother had passed away, and I just went. I don't know what happened and where I went, but I turned into a different person. She was the one person to where, and I think we all have this one person that that's in our life, and we won't do anything wrong. We won't lie. This is our person that we are fearful of. We're like, oh no, I'm gonna be honest to this person no matter what. So she was that person, and when she passed away, I said, I'll just do whatever I want to do because
Mhm.
I don't
Mhm.
have that person there to keep me grounded and to be that support person to me. Because I don't care who I meet. I wasn't lying to her.
I know that's right. We ain't lying to grandma.
I was not going to lie to her. No, she was that person I was not lying to. I don't care what was going on, what was going to happen. She was the person I'm like, okay, let me not do nothing bad because I'm going to have to go back and I can't go back and tell her a lie. So I'm going to be real good. So that's where that started me on a different path. And I ended up having my son, and it was the best experience ever. I got so
Wow.
much help from all over the place, from people you would never expect. When they talk about strangers coming into your life
Mhm.
to support you and assist you, you would never think that it would happen the way that you did unexpectedly. So when that happened, I noticed that, okay, I said, Lord, I see you bringing all these people in my life, and that there's something that I need to do. Um, I know that there's something I need to do, but I didn't quite know what it was. And that was to fully give my life over to Him. So, some of
Mm.
the actions that I have taken to give my life over to Him is one, allowing him to use me. I said, Lord, please allow me to know you, most importantly, but I want you to use me as your vessel to support your people, to teach your people, to educate them. So I said this prayer over and over and over again, and he did. And when he tells you that you have a mission to follow,
You better
follow
follow
it. Follow it. Kendall, we were just talking about this earlier. We do not want a spanking from him. No, it
it.
is
Girl.
the worst.
Brutal.
It's brutal.
Horrifying.
It's horrifying. You're like, what did I get myself into? I'd rather be into any type of trouble when God gives you something to do, to just do it and follow it. Even if you feel that you're not equipped to do so, you don't have the education, the strength, you don't have the time. Once you take that first step, He's going to give you everything you need to continue to move forward. If that's what He told you to do, you'll always have everything you need. In spite of what we see and what we feel, He's always going to be there for you. So I would say
Sure
take
is.
the first step. Do exactly what he called you to do when he tells you to do. And that's what I did. And it was little things. Um, and I'm going to get into a deeper story to explain actual steps because I think that that's often overlooked. It's like, what do that look like when God is calling you to do things?
Mm-hmm.
I am definitely going to explain it because I was blown away by, you sure this is what you want me to do? And it is. It's exactly what he wants us to do. And then another action that I took was to, um, as far as being obedient to him,
Mm-hmm.
is stepping outside of your comfort zone. There are so many situations I had to step outside of my comfort zone to where I felt that I was a different person. I was like, Lord, you know, this is way, way out. But once I got in it, I'm telling you, my heart was pounding, anxiety high. Once I got in it, I didn't feel anything. It was complete like peace.
Oh,
I'm like, wow, this is how it feels to follow you. Okay, I like this.
yes. Yeah.
And then the new challenge came, and I went back to that panic mode, that anxiety, the heart pounding and the sweating. I'm like, oh, here we are again. You totally forget how it feels the next time around. And then you get back in and you're like, oh, it's peaceful again. This is how it feels. I can do this again. So I constantly did that to the point where sometimes I would forget about the pain in the process. But what I have learned is that pain, birth, purpose. I'm gonna try not to preach. I'm trying not to. Pain really births purpose. It is
Yes.
something that happens in that moment when you are um, in a season where there may be hurt, you may feel that you are alone, but out of that, there is a purpose growing, growth growing so strong that's going to pour out of you if you
Mm-hmm.
continue to do what you're supposed to do. And I would say I always stay positive and peaceful. And I'll talk a lot about my homeless situation a little bit later on. But when I was in a homeless situation, I would try to make the best out of it. I would still try to laugh and be excited and have a smile on my face, even if I had to force it. Because I remember listening
Wow.
to a gospel song and it said, you can't wait for the feeling. Just act it out. It's gonna come. And it really does. So I would force that smile, hoping that I would actually feel happy. I always did. I had to force it to make it happen. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was grateful for that. I'm grateful for my journey. I spent many years being mad about it, being upset,
Okay.
being angry at myself. And I just want to be transparent because I have to let others know that it's okay to feel that way. He knows it. He knows how you feeling anyway. So you might as well just let it out.
Yes, you
You
can't.
might as well
You
just
can't hide anything. You cannot hide anything from him.
You cannot. You can't.
No,
He's
he
gonna feel
knows
it.
our
He's gonna
hearts.
see it.
Yep.
And
Mm-hmm.
then others around you will feel the same way. They would feel that pushback too. So I would say going back to my testimonial stories is that everything that I asked God for, He always given me. If it was what I supposed to have. And I'm gonna be very honest, there's some things that we be asking for that we know we don't need. Come on out of there. Come on out. That's not your rim. Come out of
Stay in
there.
your lane.
Get back in your lane. That's
Mhm.
not where you're supposed to be. So he gave me everything that I wanted. And sometimes the things that I asked for was not things that I should have. So he gave me those things, and I quickly said, "Oh, I don't want it. You can have it back." I didn't know what I was asking for. I knew no better. I did not know any better. And he showed me that the things that you're asking for may be things that you want, but I want to give you the things that you need. And these are the things that I need you to be equipped with in order to be a daughter of God, in order to um, be
Mm,
successful on the path that I want to take you in. You need these things, not what you're asking for and not what you want. Materialistic and physical things, they're not going to help you get to where you're going. You having that house or that car is not going to help you speak any better or look any smarter for the places that I have for you to go. So I always remember that through all of my actions and when my prayers. So now my prayers is very specific to what he want, and I always ask first, what is it that you want me to have? What do I need
mhm.
to change in order to move to the next step?
I think it's absolutely amazing that um you talked about how after your grandmother died, you were like, yeah, I can do whatever I want because there's no accountability for me. But there was something, um you knew you needed God, and you knew you needed him quite early. I wish I would have had that. You know what I'm saying? Because you were still in your like late teens, early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I would say that my sister, one of my second oldest sister, she was the type of person to where she's always been involved in religion no matter what was going on in her life. So, that was probably the only and first person that introduced me to religion. And she would go to any religion wherever God is. She has been Muslim, Baptist. She done went to Christian churches. She a Catholic. She Baha'i, Baha'i. She Buddhist. She would go anywhere to come back to
Okay.
him and to find him. So Mormon. So
Mm,
I really
she done
started.
done it all and
She's
came
really done.
back
She's really
to
done it
Christ.
all. Yes, she wherever he is, she would find him. So I seen her going through all of that, and even though I didn't understand the different religions at that time, I seen her having the desire to follow God. So I always had that example. I would say,
Okay.
and
Okay.
but I've seen her do some things that I followed too that neither one of us had any business getting into. But we went there. We definitely did. But we always found our way back to God. So I would say, having that foundation from somewhere, if it's a person you don't know that's close to you, to find it on the internet if you can. Subscribe to God Got Your Girl. Listen to ask some questions. Find that place where you're grounded at. Because that really helped me. I said a prayer when I was 17 years old. I said, Lord, I know I done made a mistake. This was I felt that I made a mistake by having a child at 17 years old because at that time no one around me accepted it. This little girl having a kid that they have to take care of. Now they got to take care of you and the child. Is what I was hearing. So it's not like I had any support on either end. And
Okay.
I said, God, if you please help me take care of this child and let me have a job at least by he two. Because my idea was, when kids get 2 years old, they want to start asking you questions and talking, asking for things. And I never wanted that experience to where he started asking me questions and talking, asking for things and talking to me, and I didn't have a story behind it to tell him. And I didn't want us to be in a situation where he's like, Mom, why are we why is the 15 people living in this house? Where are we?
Mm,
My friends at school, this is how they come at you. At school, I always see Naya's mom and dad, things
mhm.
like that. And he was that type of kid where he would ask anybody any question, anywhere, at any time. And I noticed that very early when he first started talking at one. And I never wanted that. So I would say that prayer every night. And his birthday is at the end of May. I got my first job May 12th, which was on that day, it was Mother's Day. But since my
Wow.
prayer was surrounded by me being a mother to my child, it was so ironic that it happened on that day. Literally went to the interview on that day. And so that was one of the first things that God has done for me. And I think I was 19 or 20 when I
Mhm.
got my first job. But that was the first real testimony, the first miracle that I seen happen in my life from a prayer. There was other things that happened, but from a prayer, that was the first time. I couldn't believe it. The timing was so perfect. It was literally 18 days apart from Mother's Day to his birthday. And I said, okay, let's see what else I can do. Let's see what else. We done made it this far. Let's see what else can happen. So I started getting into the word and following him more, going to church,
Mhm.
and I tried my best to devote my life over. And even though I would always revert back, um, he would always find me, or I would always find him. Uh, there
Mhm.
another situation is where his grandmother, she does not like me to give her anything. She one of those people that say no to everything. What do you want for your birthday? Nothing. Christmas? Nothing. She won't let you give her anything, do anything for her. But she was a very important person in my life. And so one day, God, we was riding the car together, and something was like, "Give her all the money you have." Excuse me, sir.
He has a way of doing that.
This was before I had a job. I didn't have any money coming in. I said, I had $55 in my pocket. I said, all of it? We can split it and be perfectly fine. No, he said all of it. So I said, can I just keep $5? I'm trying to make sure because I
No,
wasn't
you're
fully
real.
there. I wasn't fully there yet to trust him and obey him. I said,
Okay.
okay, I'm gonna do it. And I told her, I said, because she's that type of person, we can have this conversation all the time. And I said, Vicky, something's telling me to give you all the money I have, but I'm gonna keep $5. I'm gonna give you this 50 because I literally had a 50 and a $5 bill on me, and that was it. I didn't have any money until I don't know where it was coming from. So I gave her the money, and then I didn't think anything of it. I actually forgot because I remembered that I had food in the refrigerator and I had gas, a full tank of gas. So I didn't really think about it till later on. And then the kids' school called me. This is when I had my stepdaughters. They called me. They said, "You won a gift card." I looked at the phone and I was like, "Excuse me." She said, "I said, where are you from?" And she gave me the name of the kid's school. And she said, "You won a $75 gift card." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And she said, "Wait a minute. Matter of fact, you won two gift cards. They were both for $75." And I'm like, "What is it for?" She said, "You can use them anywhere." What? I thought this lady was lying. I couldn't believe it. I said, "Do you know the children are in the same household? You sure I can have both?" She said, "Oh, yeah." "Yeah, that's good. Oh, well, congratulations to you. Come pick them up." And I'm like, so it ended up having
Wow.
to be from the church right next door to the school. They
Mhm.
had, I actually forgot what it was for, but it was for some type of fundraiser. And they was, giving out gift cards and things of that sort. So I went to that church that next Sunday because the gift cards had came from them, and I just wanted to thank them and show up and show their appreciation. Actually, one of my relatives was going there that I did not even know that was their church. So I seen them there, and I sat with them and I explained to them how I ended up here.
Mhm.
And this happened within the same week. So it was nice. God again will continue to do things in your life if you choose to follow Him. With my very much, thank you.
Leo his sucker on your head.
I don't know what was going on. I just felt a presence, a kid presence, and body heat. So as I'm going through this journey, I'm continuously praying and asking God about my character now. Because now I asked for all the materialistic things. He gave me some things I should not have ended up with. Now I'm asking for all the character traits that I need to change.
Wow.
Peaceful, integrity, respect, to be honest, to be compassionate, to have mercy, to be
Mhm.
love and accept love. And I I began to see like those bad fruits that I had. like fall off. And I
Wow.
began to see those new things that I was praying for exist in my life. And those happen way faster than the materialistic things. I said, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be praying for. But he waited for me. He waited for me to ask, though. He was like, okay, once you ask, I'll give it to you. But if you do not ask, I know that scripture is somewhere. If you don't ask, you will not receive. And those were the things he wanted me to ask for. Those internal things that I can take with me on this journey. So with my second child, again, I was in a place in my life where I thought that my ex-husband and I were having kids, and this was the right thing to do. I wanted to build that family, and I wanted to be supportive to him. And unfortunately, it didn't work out the way that we wanted to. Just because it didn't, we wanted to, we grew apart in a way that we were not able to come back to. And that was a great moment in my life because I realized what God really wanted me to do. And that your first testimony, your first mission in life, um, if you're not a mother, to be that wife to your husband. And I learned that to be obedient to him and to be supportive to him the best way, no matter what he's doing on his end, no matter what how he acts towards you. That
Ooh.
is a mission for you. And it's always best to show up in that mission and do your best in spite of what's going on around you. So Leo's birthday, this was a time where I wasn't working again. God said, "You're not gonna leave this job," because it was 4 years. I was there for 4 years, and I didn't go. I wasn't confident enough to make the changes that he wanted me to make, so I stayed at that job. Ended up getting pregnant with my second child, and he was like, "Okay, since you're not gonna leave, I'll just give you this baby, which is gonna force you to leave because you're gonna have to go on maternity leave, and then we're gonna start this again, and let's see how obedient you are." So I did the same prayer. Lord, can you please let me have a job before this child turned 2 years old? Last time didn't work out. We are on a new leaf now. Can we see what's going to happen this time? So I started back going to school because I wasn't working. And I felt that I had to do something, that I owe my child that much.
Mm.
Leo's birthday is at the beginning of the month. I got my job 18 days later. So again, it was like 18 days apart. Like before
Just
he
like your
turned
first
two.
baby. Hmm.
Just like the first baby, before he turned two. And I was like, no, this was after he turned two. So
Right.
after he turned two, I got that job. And I was like, I must be doing something right. And I was still hesitant about the things that God was telling me to do. And then from there moving forward, the Holy Spirit just spoke to me in a way that if you have not felt the power of the Holy Spirit over you, you will know it. You will know it because you will feel it in your heart, and you would know that He's speaking to you mentally. And my body just felt so different as the Holy Spirit was talking to me. This was after I got the job. I wanted that job so bad. I went there a month before my start date. I had to. I was like, Lord, I need this job. I went there a month before the start date. And I was just so excited to know that I'm just going to give everything to him. Here we go. I'm done. I'm not testing you no more. I'm not testing myself. Here we are on this journey. Let's do it. Whatever you want me to do. I'm ready now. I don't need another miracle to happen in my life for you to show up. I'm here
Mm.
now. 100% because you have already shown me three things very important that I can't deny. The
Mhm.
timing was so perfect. How can you deny something like that? Is what I was thinking to myself. So I've just been obedient ever since. And I ended up I continued to go to school, I continued to work, and I continued to work on my relationship with him. So some of the things that he has done in my life, when you talk about testimony, a testimony, when I ended up getting put out of my home, literally my bags. You know how I was calling like, oh, okay, what we eating for dinner? What dinner?
I would stop. Tara, you is a
What
mess.
what dinner? I said, I'm coming home to eat dinner. No, your things would be at, he said, at my sister's house. And I said, wait a minute. Come on back. They're gonna be where? I'm telling you, I was totally confused about what happened. I'm like, so that's what I'm staying on the phone. Like, what happened? Can we talk about it? No, I ended up picking my things up at the gas station. His car was full of all of my stuff. I put them all in my car. I drove back to the house. The police got called, and it was a mess. I couldn't believe it. And I'm telling the police, like, I just got off work. I was coming home to think we were eating dinner, and my things are. I started taking my stuff out the car, put them back in the closet on a hanger. I didn't have nowhere else to go. And so once that, I can laugh about it now, but in that moment, I was just crying. I could not believe that
And especially
it
because,
was
like you
actually
said,
happening.
you were, like you said, in your marriage, even no matter what he was doing, you were going to continue to be that supportive wife. You were going to continue to
Yeah.
be the wife that God asked you to be. So I can only imagine, like, God, I'm doing everything you told me to do. I'm being the wife you told me to do. And I'm calling him saying, what'd you like for dinner? And he like, yeah, you're going to be eating hot dogs at the Speedway. Like, what?
We ended up
How's
having Taco
that?
Bell that night though.
What?
But
Yeah, I can only imagine.
it was a crazy moment for me. But that was, I needed that experience as well, because that helped me with my growth. And so I ended up putting my things back in the house. Um, we end up semi working it out. He was gone for like a week. Then we end up semi working it out. Um, it still didn't work. I ended up bouncing around, going to everybody's house. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell anybody. So I was going to my son's grandmother house, my son's aunt house, my parents' house, my aunt house. I went to everybody's house to bounce around to make it seem like I just wanted to visit them. But I really needed a place to sleep that night. And I'm trying not to make it so noticeable for my kids as well. So I tried to just pick myself up, move inch by
Mhm,
inch to follow
mhm.
along, and then went back there. Didn't work this time. I think it was 2 months later. I didn't want anybody to know again, because they're like, okay, you spend the night over here a little bit too much. They might start asking some questions. So I just went to every hotel. Let me tell y'all something. Did you know in Michigan you need a credit card to book a room? I didn't know that. I thought you needed. I
Money,
thought you
cash money.
needed some cash, a bank card. No.
Right.
So before I even found this out, this night, it was the first night I ended up sleeping in my car. I was in my car, and this 2-year-old woke up. Well, actually, he was 1.5. He woke up around 10 o'clock, and he just was crawling all over the car. We went through this for like a couple hours. So it's in the middle of the night. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna get any sleep. I'm gonna be asleep at my work desk tomorrow. Ryan's gonna be asleep at school. Somebody's gonna ask some questions. What are we gonna do? So I said, okay, he's not sleeping in
Mm,
the car. He obviously feels uncomfortable. Let's find somewhere to sleep at tonight. I went to almost every hotel. So that was a couple another couple of hours. Nobody would take a regular bank card or cash. I didn't have a credit card. And the credit cards I did have, I maxed them out, doing things, of course, that I did not know to do. And I ended up finding this place that was way far out. It was like an hour and 45 minutes from my son's school. But I said, okay, we're gonna stay here. When listen, this motel, it was scary. I was just talking about this with my son yesterday. How scary it was. First of all, when we got there, I was able to pay with cash. It was $55. I was like, cool. It was so bad. We
mhm.
slept on our own covers. We didn't even brush our teeth or take a shower in that building. Okay. I went to work the next day with my same pants on. It was rough. Okay. It was hard. We brushed our teeth in the car because the sink, the bed, it smelled like cigarettes. The first room she gave me, we actually walked in on somebody. So y'all didn't know that somebody was still in the room. You really didn't know that this room was still occupied. So that means you're not cleaning it? all these things is going through my mind. Like, what is
Oh
going
my
on? I
gosh.
have never experienced this before, so I was just so shocked.
Mhm.
The last hotel I've been through was probably for like a kid's birthday party at a water park. So I wasn't
Oh my
used
goodness.
to what I was seeing. It was that bad. And we slept for a couple of hours and we went back to the car. I was like, soon, as soon as it get daytime, we get out of here. I turned around after I left out the room to make sure I didn't leave anything. It looked like nobody was in that room. We did not touch nothing. Um, I was like, okay, we just gonna take care of it in the car. I found this truck stop to go to. I feel more comfortable watching up there. So we did that.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and then we went to work. I went to work. He went to school. And then here we are, night two. Mind you, it was very ironic on this particular day in my job. So many people was calling because they were homeless and they needed a place to go. And then there were some people that was calling, talking, oh, I just got my house. I was like, what apartment did you say you just moved into? They called for resources and I was getting resources from them. And I ended up writing down some of the apartments. I was calling them, I was filling out applications, I was trying to do everything. And I was like, okay, Ryan, okay, that was bad last night. We got to do something else. So this was over a course of a month. I started going to other
Mhm.
hotels and motels. I had to pay a little bit more money. I used everything. That next check, I used that whole check to live somewhere for a week because we're living out of bags. It was getting hectic. We was losing toothbrushes, socks, shoes. So I said, okay, let's stay
Wow.
there for a week. I ended up calling the apartment. Well, one apartment I did get approved for. When I called them back to ask a question.
Mhm.
The first time around, they said that, oh, well, it's going to take about 30 to 60 days for you to get moved in. I was like, okay. So I left there. I was like, okay, let's stay at this hotel for a while. And then I called back to ask a question, and she was like, "Oh, you want to move? Oh, you're moving here. Oh, I see. I see your application. Well, guess what? We'll have something available this week." I said, "Thank you." But when I first went there, when I tell y'all, they were saying that, "Oh, it's gonna be 30, 60 days. We have a long waiting list. It may be longer than that. We don't know." I said, "If I'm so glad." I don't even remember what question I asked. I would tell y'all. I was just so happy that I
And the
asked that
fact
question
that
in the same week.
God had you, like you said, you had that job and those resources. Those people were calling, talking about, "Oh, I went here, right here." Nobody even knew that you on the other end, somebody is calling you for the resource. And you on the other end needed the resource.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
that God placed you there at that time that you had no idea. You had no idea you were going to go through all of this, Tyra. None. Because,
No.
like you said, you were being obedient. You were being obedient in your marriage, even though your husband was acting a plumb nut fool. You were being
Woo.
obedient in your marriage. No matter what, you didn't allow it to change you because, like you said, you had already talked to God about changing your character and what you
Yes,
needed to possess and who you needed to be.
yes.
And all of those things, even though, like you said, he put your stuff at the gas station, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You found a way to be placed in an absolute amazing place that got you not only a place to live, you were supposed to be there in 30 to 60 days, but got a call saying, "Oh, we got an apartment for you this week." I bet you didn't even know how you going to pay for that hotel for the next 30 to 60 days. Like you just, I mean, I'm hearing what you said. You said you took your whole check and paid for the week. So
Yes.
what would you go do the next? Obedience, y'all. That's all I got to say. Obedience.
Obedient. We had it down pat. And let me tell y'all
Obedience.
something. So even though I was depressed, I was going through postpartum depression. I didn't know that. I didn't believe in it. I know now. So I speak a lot about postpartum depression, anxiety, um,
Yes.
and overcoming divorce. Overcoming homelessness,
Mm-hmm.
dealing with blended families. I've been bouncing around from house to house since I was 15 years old. So when that happened to me, I was in a shock type of state where I really couldn't think, but I said, God, every scripture just says to be peaceful and positive. So they had a pool there. I don't know how we found something that cheap with a pool, and they served breakfast, hot breakfast at that in the morning. You know what we did? So we would take cereal, fruits, granola bars, and we would eat that for dinner, eat the hot breakfast for breakfast. And then for lunch, I was like, okay, I know at work it might be some lunch there. If not, I'm gonna eat this
Oh,
cereal
right,
later
right.
on. But we got lunch. That's how because I spent literally every dollar. The only thing that was left was gas money. There was nothing else. They had a pool there, so to try to hide what was going on from the kids, we would go to the pool. We would go to the pool, act like we ain't living out this car. We wasn't just living out of this car. Its stuff still stayed in that car so long after I got the apartment because I was like, how am I to pay for this? How are we gonna keep this? So I even before this time, what led me to get here is me going back to school. I had to live off of those refund checks. I have to pay them
Yes.
back now. So that really helped out with the bills after that.
Hmm.
And I know people say, oh, you're going to have to pay that back later. But I need it now. And I didn't have anything now. I didn't have anything saved up. He bought houses and we tried to fix them up. All type of money was going for there. I was supporting everybody else's business and vision except my own because I did not have confidence in myself. And I lost over $10,000. Once I added everything up, I said, wow, this could have been for me. We wouldn't be homeless right now if it wasn't for me trying to feed into other people's businesses and successes. But I thought I was doing the right thing at that time. Like, oh, let me try to support my husband in his business and other relatives in their business to find out that I didn't once stop and say, support yourself for one. Try to support yourself. And once I realized that, I began to save money up so that I would never have to be in that situation again because it was so traumatic. And I never want my children to go through that.
Hmm.
And there's so many, there's been a time where God told me to give $1,000 away. And I know, Kendall, I'm going to try to wrap this up,
No,
but I have
you
to
are
share this.
fine.
God said give $1,000 away. Excuse me, sir. Again.
I have been there, girl. Yes.
um, me? Okay, we trying to build up from the homeless situation. So this is when we first got. I'm still trying to pay off all these debts and stuff. I maxed out all my cards when I was homeless because I didn't
Hmm.
didn't have anything. Maxed out all them credit cards. So this was after. This is a new batch of credit cards. Okay, so before I even was in that situation, those cards was done for me trying to help other people out.
Maintain.
That's
Yeah.
why I couldn't even get into a hotel to begin with. So after that, moved into my house, been living here for a few years. Um, got approved for credit card. Like, okay, let me build my credit up. Let me try to save some money. Here we go with saying I need to give away $1,000. Okay. I said I was gonna be obedient. You said this was what it looked like, so let me go ahead and do it. I wrote down everything he told me to write. The Holy Spirit was talking to me. I think he gave me 5 or 10 people, and I can't remember, but he gave me a list of people to give this $1,000 to. So I wrote $1,000 at the top of the paper, and he gave me the people and the amount. Now I was cool with everybody on the form because there's some of them was my relatives, and it was one person on that paper. I was like, "You mean her? No, 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 no." But that was me not being merciful. I couldn't.
I don't want to help her.
I
And you
don't
know what? People do that. I'm sure you probably looked at that name like, Lord, now you know she in here doing everything that ain't your business. What she
and
doing
people
ain't your business.
Let me tell
Your
you,
business is what he told you to do.
it was so not my business. Not at all. So whatever relationship she had with God, he was definitely covering her because I didn't see it and it wasn't my place to see. I didn't realize that, Kendall, until months later. But it so I ended up giving everybody what what he told me to give them specifically. And my school called me and said that, well, that money came from the stimulus check.
Mhm.
So I paid $800 for one of my debts, and then I used the other $1,000 to do what God told me to do because I was going to plan to save that and not pay any bills with that. My school called and said, "You've been picked. Someone paid off your $1,800 balance." I said, "What?" And she was like, "All you got to do is send us a video of how this has helped you." So I said, "Thank God that I was obedient. What if I wasn't obedient and gave what He
Yes.
told me to give to those individuals? How would this have turned out now?"
Mhm.
So I was so grateful for that moment. And then everything just started going good from there, moving forward. Before I left my relationship with my husband, I wanted to walk away saying that I did everything that I can possibly do as a woman, as a mother, as a person, as an individual, so that to help the relationship, to help the marriage. And when I walked away, I was able to say that I have done everything I can possibly do to make it work. And so I was just receiving blessing after blessing after blessing. The longest I've ever stayed anywhere was a year. I've moved that much over the past 15 years. And the place I'm in now is the longest I've ever stayed anywhere. And since then, I feel a sense of stability. But
Mhm.
more importantly, He has been showering me with so many amazing, great things from being obedient to Him. It's been money coming out of all places, support coming from all places, and people calling me saying, "Oh, I want to support you, not support you, but I want to give to you and your family
Mhm.
uh, for Christmas." And they did it 2 Christmases in a row when I didn't even have it. And last year was the first Christmas where I got my kids everything that they wanted because I wasn't able to do that before. I don't think I've ever been able to do that. And He is constantly showing me, if you give me your hand, if you take my hand, walk with me, I will take you to a better place. I will show you something
Yes.
greater, something different. You know what? Your mind can't even imagine the things that I want to give you, the things that I want to do for you. And I was, it's been so many times where I spent crying um, because I realized that a relationship with God is more important than anything that He can do for us. It's the feeling that you get when you're walking with God. It's comfort. Let me tell you, I've been sleeping on the floor where it was rats running around. Okay. So, and I've had peace that night. I don't have a clue. Now I'm waiting on the fear. I see it. I'm waiting on the fear. None.
Mm.
Zero. Zero. And it's been situations where I'm like, okay, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this and go through this. But I know that there's always going to be Him. I will always have Him. I will always have His comfort and His love and His support and protection. So let me
Mhm.
go through it no matter how hard it is. And I I'm grateful that I'm in this place that I'm in now spiritually, because
Yes.
this is a moment where I get to prove myself. Like, you have done all these things for me. Let me prove myself to you. Let me show you what I'm able to do with the gifts you have given me, the spiritual gifts you have given me, the talents and skills you have given me, the
Yes.
growth that I have endured over these years. And now I'm truly excited that I'm finally doing something with it. The time I didn't know that I was going through the things that I was going through. It didn't look so bad. It felt it. And when I look back, I said, wow, how can you go through all of these things without having God there to protect you and to be
Mhm.
behind you? And it's been times where I have been in the darkest place, like, done. This relationship is not working. He would not let me go. He wouldn't let me go. He surrounded me with friendships and people in my life. Kendall, I promise you, the support you have given me,
Oh,
the
girl.
strength that you have, your kind words. You were the first person, honest to God, truth, that was in my life to where you spoke so beautifully and so highly about people, even in the midst of their mistakes. And I have never seen that. And I never known anyone to do that personally. And when I seen you do that, I'm like, how? I really was thinking for a long time. Who is this Kendall girl? And how is she so happy? I was so confused about how happy you were. You always smiled and laughed and you were able to express yourself. Where me, from all the pain and trauma that I have been through, even in my childhood, moving into my adulthood, I was always reserved and quiet and restricted. I used to get a whipping for laughing. Like we get in trouble for laughing. So I showed no emotion,
Oh,
whether I was happy or sad. I didn't show that emotion. So when I seen you doing that, now I'm able to laugh without um looking around to see when that belt was coming.
you're
Like,
so silly.
I'm able to be myself. But you were the person that brought that out of me, that fun, happy side. And there's sometimes where I always revert back. And I know you could still see him like she reverting back to those old ways because
No.
sometimes it can be comforting there. Sometimes in our pain, it can be comforting. And I think we put ourselves in
Mm,
situations at times that we don't need to be in because that place is comfortable.
mm-hmm.
It can be. That's why I kept going back to him because it was a sense of comfort. I felt that I couldn't get that anywhere else, which was not true, but you always feel where your comfort is. So I appreciate you, Kendall, for being who you are, showing me something different. And from there, my spirit just took off with me opening up because you were the first person out of that realm that I opened up to. And I was able to be a new person. I was able to be a new being. So I truly thank you and appreciate you for doing that. Because now I have so many great things coming up, so many accomplishments I cannot wait to tackle. And it's because of the light that he put in you to give to others. And
Oh,
that's what I seen in
Tyra.
you in the beginning. I usually be sitting there in my office like, how? How? I'm so confused, Lord. Can you show me? I want a piece of what Kendall have.
Girl, it's crazy that you even say that because I think we mirror each other, right? Because and you know me, I am a crybaby, okay? Um and I'm
Love
trying
you for
not
that.
to cry, but I think we're just a mirror of each other because everything that you say that I did for you, you did for me. And even though you could not see yourself smiling and could not see yourself
Yeah.
because you were going through things, even though you knew God had you, just remember the person that I met in the beginning, that Tyra, the quiet Tyra. Um, you didn't say much, but when you did speak, you spoke power. And I'm not saying power to where like you're telling people what to do or where you're trying to have the authority. You spoke
Yeah.
power and people. And you spoke power in me. And you encouraged me. Like you used to be like, how do you do that? I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like things that I didn't even see in myself that were gifts from God. I didn't see them because I wasn't in that place like you are now. Like you said, your journey started when you were in your early 20s, late teens on getting to know God and changing your character. I am just now there. You helped me in so many ways. You just do not know. And I mean, I'm older, but you're younger than I am. And I learned so much from you. And one of the main things I just continue to learn from you is your obedience to him, which really helps me. It really, really does. And I thank you. So just as much as you say that bring that to you, you bring that to me, Tyra. You really, really do. And your testimony is absolutely amazing. But the biggest thing that I can take from what you said is that, like you said, even when rats were running around you and you were laying on the floor, sleeping in your car, brushing your teeth with your kids in the car, okay? Thinking you going home to your loving husband, okay? And he like, no, your stuff is at the gas station. You know what I'm
Again,
saying?
it's a no go at
Not
that.
knowing how not knowing how you're gonna feed your kids. I mean, you were in situations where you said, I could feel fear, but I didn't because I had God with me. And I'm trying to get there. That's where I'm trying to get. For real, for real. And I can see that in you. I see that in you every time I watch you walk through the room. I see that in you when you speak to the women that we serve in the community. You are an honored social worker, which be modest about, but you're an honored social worker. Even before you completed your degree, you were providing all of that, not only to your clients, not only people we serve, but to me as well. And I appreciate you. I really, really do. And I thank you so much for being here today to share your story with us, to shed light, to shine light, to give people hope, because we need
Yes,
it. This world is
yes,
dark, but God is brighter, right? And it is, there's so much more. But we have to keep our mind. I always think about, yes, we have to stay focused and keep our mind on Him. The moment we lose that, that's when we let
mm,
everything else around us just yip, 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 yap. And that everything else around us, we already know that's Satan. And I call Satan, he is a bitter ex boyfriend. And I ain't got time for his mess because I will serve him with that PPO. And that is the Bible. I will come with my sword, I
yes.
will come with my words from the truth of the Lord. Try it. Okay?
Try
Anyway,
it.
I'm
I
crazy.
love that video you did about Satan being an ex boyfriend you don't want. Oh my gosh. Thank you for that. I needed that. And I have to say that it was because of the people that God brought in my life that I'm able to be here. Even the even when I pushed them away, he like, nope, they coming back and they coming back and they want all of you. And I have, even Kristen, a social worker, she was the most
Oh,
professional. So she was so professional. She was so down to earth. And I have never seen that before. I said, you could be professional and have a good job and be down to earth and still be
girl.
merciful and loving towards people. I've
Chris,
never
this my
seen that
girl.
before. Usually when African American people get some type of high title on a pedestal and they trying to change their attitude and they mood, they not really for the community. Not her, still
Hmm.
down to earth. And it was other people that I work with and I would interact with. Oh my gosh, that was like, this is what it looks like to be a part of a community.
Hmm.
Project Rise, I love, absolutely
Yes.
love. I mean, it's an honor to have a nonprofit organization that wants to support people financially. Is not too many. And when
Hmm.
I had my first conversation with her to get my finances in check, I realized that I was doing it all wrong. And that's why I did not have the money or the funding to support myself and my family. But once it was only me in the household, I said, oh, I need to know how to do this right. Because people say, oh, you need a financial advisor. I don't need anybody to tell me how to spend my money, is what I was thinking. I honestly thought that. So I always turned it down. And once I went through that program, did my internship, I was like, oh, we helping the community. We changing. We're building generational wealth for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Hmm. And
Amazing.
I think what makes her
Beautiful
makes
person.
makes her such a blessing is the fact that she's not led by the money, she's led by God, you know? And I absolutely love that about her. So yes. I don't know. Tyra, you have some fans in the chat. I'm not good with this, y'all. Y'all know this is my second broadcast on the YouTube. But if you didn't know, Yasmin here, I forgot to show all of
I
these.
can see
I
let
know,
me click around on
cause
something to see who I
your
can
girl is
see
raggedy.
in here. I just appreciate you so much, Kendall.
Girl,
Yasmin, my foundation. I got to get all my foundations together. Yes.
It's so many comments in this chat, girl. I'm sorry, y'all. I know y'all been chatting it up, and I forgot to show the comments. Y'all know I ain't no good at
Okay.
this. I'm still trying to get used to it,
But
but
I should have been clicking around before I came on. I was trying to get kids together, bribe them with suckers to stay quiet, whatever I had to do. But I want to say that it is so important to have your foundation of
oh
people
yes.
YouTube, Instagram, personally, find that foundation and stick on it, stay on it. It's so important. And I always tell people that no does not mean never. Keep going. You will always find your way.
If anybody has any questions for Tyra, I am looking at the comments now. So if you guys have any questions or anything, please feel free to ask them. I am trying to go through these comments and show Tyra everything that you guys have been saying, but really, let's see. Jazz was here, Jody was here, um, Daily Dale's here, Sierra is here.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Now I can see it. Ah, yes.
Alrighty. I'm
Daily
still trying to.
Dale.
Her notes have been,
Oh my
all
God.
messed up. Right. So I'm trying to go through so I can kind of show you, but I'll see you later, so I'll show
Daily
you
Dale, another
more
foundation.
what's
I'm
been
telling
going
you,
on.
she's absolutely funny.
Oh,
So funny.
so before I do remember this. So Yaz talked about her video next week is about blended families, and she might need to interview you, Tyra. And I told her you are like the queen of blended families because those girls. But I tell y'all, girls that did not like her, couldn't stand her, thought that she was the spawn of the bottom of the swamp, to adore her, love her, think that they literally came from her. She is Queen Mama.
Look,
Tyra.
Jasmine, you will love that story. I have an amazing story. Will love that one. That's for a totally different time. I wanted to share that, but we can talk so much about that. It was beautiful all over. Learned a whole lot. Yes.
Oh, this was a good one too. Where Sierra said, "Who the real ministry is when God asks you to help the people you dislike or hate." Ah!
Ooh,
Say it
Lord.
again.
See, Kendall, that's how we sisters. Real, truly sisters. Woo!
Jesus.
I'm just being so honest because I have to. When so he asks you to help a person, did you wait a minute? Wait a minute. That just tells you the work that he's doing behind the scenes.
I know this was mine, but this was a good one. You
Take
said
his
it.
hand.
If you take his hand, he will take you where you can't even imagine. Think about your most wildest dream. Got to give you that tenfold.
Yes.
Obedience. All
Obedience.
right,
And I
dear,
also
dear.
want to say that even after the video, if you have any comments for me, because I will be leaving comments as well. Kendall, truly appreciate you. If you have any questions, anything you want to know more about, I'm definitely willing to share. My goal and my faith is to inspire, to help, to educate others, to talk about my story, and to just help you along with whatever journey you're in and wherever you're at. I want to be of assistance to you. So if you have any questions, let me know. Ask them now or ask them in the chat. 'Cause I know we have to get off of here. So leave your question in the
Yes.
chat so
And
we
the
can have some conversation.
I think I have your Instagram. At guide me 711 because that's where your stuff
Yes.
was at. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. You know I'm stupid. I gotta be dumb. I can be
Yes,
dumb.
those jokes. I always tell people, listen, just laugh at it, okay? Just laugh at the joke. Just make me feel good.
Girl, you gotta laugh to keep from crying.
You have
Okay.
to. You have to.
All right. And last but not least, I think this is perfect. Um, yes says yes. We are set free by the power of our testimony. And truly, that is what this is all about. I don't know, y'all already know, I don't know where God know where God got your girl came from. Him, himself. I was not thinking about doing any of this. I was not thinking about doing my sharing my journey. I shared it. You guys have seen what I'm going through, and then I just felt it in my spirit that this is not about me. I've never wanted God Got Your Girl to be about me because it is absolutely not. But I want to make sure that, you know, you guys can see that not only is God moving in my life, but He's moving in others people's lives too. And I thank you again, Tyra, for being here. I absolutely had an amazing time. I think the people that are here, they had a good time as well. And I hope to see you out here in these streets, honey. I know you are going to be you're featured next month in Ohio at the Social Workers Convention, doing your story and sharing, just who you are. Um, but I hope to see you in some other platforms as well. Hopefully, it's the YouTube platforms on Instagram, because you are absolutely amazing. You truly, truly are. And when I say you are a true healer through the love of Christ, you are. You truly, truly are. This was certainly a joy. And I am so happy that all of you guys have tuned in. I thank you guys for being so supportive of God Got Your Girl and so supportive of the people that I bring on here. And I pray that they were a light to you. So, with that being said, we are going to end our live for today. But please, please, please go check out Tyra's Instagram page. Show her some love at Guide Me 711. And please show the love to the other YouTubers that are here as well. Yasmin Williams Woods, Daily Dale, Sierra DeVoe, her project Rise. Show them some love. They're doing some amazing things with helping people, the working class. A lot of times, we as a working people don't qualify for any help or any assistance, but we know that one check away will put us down in the dumps. And her organization definitely makes sure to support those that are going through that. So we thank you again, Tyra, and I thank y'all again for the support. And I truly, truly hope and bless that this has been a light to you, because we are set free by the power of our testimony. See you guys later. Hopefully, it's next
Bye.
Monday, but I will keep you guys posted. Bye.